Yeah, hi all. This is the continuation video of the part one of the streams. Yeah, so in part one, we have discussed about stream creations. For each map, collect two array, find first, find any, filter, plot map, and peak methods of the streams. So in this video, we'll discuss about stream operations, terminal, non-terminal, short circuiting, and infinite streams with iterate, generate methods, skip and limit of the methods, lazy evaluation of the streams. This is one of the concepts of the streams, and comparison on the streams. In the comparison of the streams, we discuss sorted, min, max, distinct, all match, any match, and none match methods. Yeah, if anyone didn't watch the first video, please watch the first video and then come to here and watch the second video. Okay, so we'll go to stream operations first. So stream operations. Yeah, we already had a brief discussion about this terminal and non-terminal operations in the first video. So stream operations are divided into intermediate and terminal operations. So intermediate is nothing but non-terminal operations. Okay, a stream pipeline consists of a stream. So nothing but this one, product list of stream, is followed by, we can have multiple or zero intermediate operations, but only a one terminal operation. So once we had a terminal operations, we can't proceed further. So that means that stream is terminated. So we can have multiple intermediate operations. We may not have zero intermediate operations also. So like we can put dot map and peak. Those are all non-terminal operations. So here, so this filter is a non-terminal operator. That means we can put further operations after this filter operation. So that's what we put count. So in this example, filter is non-terminal operation and count is terminal operations. After count, we can't have anything else. We can't put any operations on the stream. Yeah, our example, it is products which computer, laptop, mobile, 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 price with 1, 2, 3 ID. So I'm going to have a filter which is non-terminal operator, nothing but intermediate operator. That means it filters the product list which is greater than or equal to 10K. Okay, we can put greater than 10K. So that means it will give laptop and mobile. I'm going to see the count of the filtered list, filtered string. Okay, so here as we see, we have only two products which are more than 10,000. We can see the output as 2. Yeah, so product more than 10K count is 2. Yeah, here we need to concentrate about the what is intermediate operation and what is terminal operation. Yeah, for each is a terminal operation. Yeah, likewise, you can see what are all the terminal operations, what are all the intermediate operations. Map to collect is a terminal operations. Map is a intermediate operations. Likewise, filter, find first is terminal operation. Find any is a terminal operation, something like that. Okay, so I'm going to next concept, infinite streams. So we can have infinite streams. We can uh, generate infinite streams using iterate method of stream. So on the stream interface, we have some default methods. So one of them is iterate method. So in the iterate, by using iterate method, we can generate infinite streams. So this infinite iterate takes two parameters. So one is the initial value. That means where my infinite stream will start, with which element it has to be started. So that we call seed element, and a function which generates the next element. So by from the previous element. So here my function is I star 2. That means I'm doubling the previous element. So that means it will give 2, 4, 8, 16, 32. It's like powers up to, because it is always generates the next element by using the previous element. So the first element is 2, next element is 4, the third element will be generated using the second element. The second element is 4, and then 4 into 2, 8. Likewise, we can generate like 2, 4, 8, 16, 32 to 56. Yeah, it is infinite. There is no end of this stream. That's why we call infinite stream. So yeah, this is seed element, and this is the function to generate the next element by using the previous element. If you want to try infinite for each, yeah, it will print, but somewhere some point it will throw out of memory exception. Yeah, we can even try to collect to list this infinite list, but we can see out of memory exception because we don't have that much heap space to hold the infinite list in a list object in our computer. So as it is infinite, it is try to put all this infinite stream elements in a list. So somehow heap memory will be exhausted. That time we can see Java heap space error. So what is the use of infinite stream then? So we can finite the infinite streams by short circuiting operations. Yeah. So what is short circuiting operation here is here the short circuiting operations we can limit or we can skip. So here the skip function, the skip method, what it will do is it will take one argument. So that argument is represents how many elements to be skipped in the list. So skip 3 will be, skip 3 nothing but it will be skip 3 elements. It will skip 3 elements from the infinite stream, and then limit 5. That means it will be limited to 5 elements. So that means it will print 5 elements from starting from the fourth element, because the third element will be skipped. So that means if you observe this infinite infinite stream, so it will be the 2, 4, 8 will be skipped as we put skip 3, and then the next 5 elements will be in the list 16, 32, 64, 125 to that. So by this time it will be finited. So the infinite list will be finited, and then we can collect those stream of elements to list by using collect method and converting collectors to list. By specifying collector to list, we can collect the finite elements from the infinite list to list. Yeah, so we have already seen this collectors, all these methods in the first video brief. Yeah, so if you can watch again to want to know more about the collect. Yeah, so here we got the finite list. So it will print, as we discussed, it will print 16, 32, 64, 125, 256 from the infinite streams. Yeah, there are other ways to generate. There is another way to generate infinite stream, that is using generate method. So this is also in the stream class. So this generate method is it will take one parameter, that is a supplier. So we need to specify a function, or we need to provide a supplier to generate uh, a next element in the infinite stream. So here I am giving math.random method. So that means by math.random, it will generate by using this method, it will generate the next element. The math.random will give a random element first, and then again it will give you a random element, and again it will be random element. Likewise, you can get the infinite stream. So, but I'm by using short circuiting operation, I'm just limiting to 5 elements. So that means I want to see only 5 random numbers. Yeah, here that for each that I'm printing the by using the for each method of this random number stream, so which is finite now and which is have 5 elements in the stream. So this is again the for each is a terminal operation. After this we can't have any further operations on the stream. So that means this here we need to know about the generate method of the stream. So it needs a supplier. So that supplier is nothing but by which method or which function, uh, by using which function the next element to be generated, that is specified by the this supplier method. Okay, so in Java 9 actually, so there is a new version of iterate here which adds a new parameter which is a, so which is a predicate. The extra parameter here is a predicate used to decide when loop should be terminated. So that means, yeah, here the extra parameter as added, that is a predicate that decides when the loop is terminated. So that means, so the iterate method itself itself will make infinite stream to a finite stream by using this predicate. So that means okay, okay, earlier we what we'll used to do, we'll then just a infinite stream, and then by using some short circuit operations we can uh, put the filter or some skip or some short circuit operations to make this infinite stream to finite stream. But here Java 9 allows us to pass a new parameter that is a predicate. So that will that itself will create infinite stream to finite stream. So that means whenever this predicates is fail, the loop should be terminated. So that means, for example, so here that iterate, the third parameter is the the new parameter is the second parameter for the iterate method. So the first parameter is the same, it is a seed element, that is nothing but the first element in the infinite stream. So the third parameter is the function, uh, the function which will be used to generate next element by using the previous element. So here the first element is first and the next element is 2. The third element will be 4, 8, something like that. So the predicate, so whenever the element is greater than 256, so that means the predicate will be failed and the loop should be terminated. I mean that means that infinite stream converted into finite stream. Okay, so if you see, it will be like this only, but we have to add one, is because of the seed element is like 1 2 4 8 16 125 56 and so on. So that the predicate, okay, so what our predicate I less than 256, because that means that element in the infinite stream is less than 256. Okay, so 1 is less than 256, 2 is less than 256, likewise 128 is less than 56, but 256 is not less than 256. That means that stream will be uh, terminated here. Okay, so then we can see output. Yeah, so now the first finite list, uh, as we put skip 3 limit 5, it skipped 3 elements and printed this 5 elements. Okay, and then 5 random numbers by using map that random supplier. So yeah, random will give the double, so it is giving like maybe it is the random 0 to 1, so it is giving all 5 random numbers. In Java 9 iterate, so after 128, so in the infinite list it has to be 256, but as we have supplied a predicate, so that predicate fails, then the stream is terminated here. So we can use some other operations here. We can use terminal or non-terminal operations. We can filter, we can map, we can put find when, find any, and some all operations are allowed here. Yeah, we are using for each to print the elements, and please make note it we are using method reference operator. Okay, so here also we are using method reference operator. So that means we can revise again what is method reference operator. Method reference operator will execute the method in this object and take the element from the stream to print to use that. So here print usually the println takes that take I mean usually what we do system.out print dot println and give the element, but here it automatically take so because it's method reference operator. Okay, so this is infinite streams. If you revise again infinite streams, we can generate using iterate, and we can use by using generate method by having a supplier method, and we can start circuiting the infinite streams by using skip and limit. In Java 9, we can even provide a predicate to terminate the stream. Yeah, this is all about Java infinite streams. Yeah, coming to our topics list. Yeah, we have seen iterate, generate, skip, limit. Now lazy evaluation. So what is lazy evaluation concept? Okay, stream lazy evaluation. Yeah, so it is very important characteristics of streams. So because it has significant optimization through, I mean, with this lazy evaluation we have the significant optimization. Yeah, that means the computation on the source data is only performed when terminal operation is initiated. So that means, so here if you see the find first is a terminal operation, so the computation will be performed on the find first only. Okay, we'll see by the example what is this. Source elements are consumed only as needed. Okay, so we have the source elements, we have the list of 3, but this will be consumed as needed. Okay, so that means we don't all process at a time, so we process one by one and when we required only. Okay, so this all intermediate operations, like here we have an intermediate operation called filter. So this is lazy operation. Okay, that means they are not executed until a result of processing is actually needed. Okay, so this filter is a lazy operation. This find first will is a terminal operation. So this will be performed only computation of the source data is performed only the terminal operation is initiated, and source elements are consumed only when needed. Okay, this all we can see in by having one example. These all characteristics of the lazy evaluation. So we have computer, laptop, mobile are 3 products. Okay, so here I'm going to have I'm going to filter by price, which product price is greater than or equal to 20. So that means it is second element in our product on the products list. Okay, so sorry, here this will be like this. Okay, yeah, so here we have a non-terminal operation, one non-terminal operation filter. So do you think how many times the filter operation is performed here? Okay, so maybe you are thinking like we have 3 elements in the list, it will be performed for 3 times. It's not true. So stream performs the filter operation, so one element at a time. Okay, so it will perform the stream operations one element at a time. So that means source elements are consumed only as needed. Okay, so here it will perform once. If you have multiple filters or multiple non-terminal operations like dot map or so some other non-terminal operation here also, that will be performed these all non-terminal operations are performed one element at a time. Okay, so it first performs all the operations on first product. Okay, so for example, here we have only one thing, but if we can have multiple non-terminal operations, so it will perform all operations on the first element. So that means the find first also perform on the first element. So since the first product is, it will not match our product is 20,000. So then processing move to the next element. Okay. Okay. Then second product satisfies the filter products. Okay. So here the second product satisfies the predicate which we passes. That means price is greater than or equal to 20,000. So then evaluates the find first. Okay. So that means the computation on the source data is only performed when the terminal operation is initiated. Okay. So until this, the terminal operation is non-initiated. Okay. So once the predicate is satisfied, so then only, so this terminal operation will be performed after we initiated this one. Okay. And this all intermediate terminal operations are lazy. So they are not executed until result processing is actually needed. Okay, so once here we are taking the find first. So once we got the first element, so then no need to perform the operations on the third product. Okay, so this is called lazy evaluation of the streams. If you want to revise again, so the all non-terminal operations perform one element at a time, and the terminal operations is triggered once when the terminal operation is initiated, and all intermediate operations are lazy. Okay, so once we find the result, so we won't process the not needed elements from the stream. So this is called lazy operations. So that's why it is very important, and then it really optimizes. So because here we have a simple example with the list of 3 elements, but if you assume like list of thousands or 10,000s or 100k elements, then so this evaluation will be very helpful with respect to the optimization. Okay, so that's what about the stream lazy evaluation, and then we can go to our next concept, comparison. Okay, so in the stream comparison, we are going to see sorted, min and max methods, distinct, all match, any match, and none match. Okay. Yeah, as we are talking about sorting, like I just modified our product list. I put the second product first, that is laptop, and first product next, that is computer. So that's what we can see. To demonstrate the example of the sorted method, I'm using non-sorted elements, and then we can show how it has sorted. Okay, so we have a sorted method on the stream. So this sorts, as name suggested, this sorts the stream elements based on the comparator passed. Okay, so that means sorted elements expect a comparison. Okay, if you see sorted element expect a comparator object. Okay, here we pass comparator object using the, here we pass the comparator object using the lambda expression. So this is nothing but a comparator, and that means we have created a comparator, where we have implemented a comparator interface and then implemented compare to method here. Okay, so the sorted method expects a comparator object. So here we are passing comparator object by using lambda expression. So my comparator is nothing but based on the product names. So that means I'm just comparing based on the product names. Okay, you can give by name suggest. Yeah. So that means the list has to be sorted by using names once we apply the sorted. So by this time we see the sorted stream, and then we can collect to list by using collect.collector to list. So before sorted, my product list are laptop, computer, mobile. So as we are sorting by name, so that means it has to be computer first, C, laptop and mobile. Computer, laptop and mobile. Yeah, that will be my. I'm just trying to print the first element after we sorted. So that first element should be computer. Okay, we can see the result as computer. So I'm again explaining this sorted method expects a comparator object. So here we are passing a comparator object by using lambda expression. Yeah, just imagine how we use it to sort uh, if you don't have the sorted method in the stream. So what we used to do is we used to have a comparator interface and then implement a class for that comparator interface and put a implement a compare to method over there, and then uh, that comparator will be passed to the collection. We have a sort is in the collection method, that collection dot sort, and we used to pass this comparator. So that all code is now in one single statement. Yeah, as I am always say, yeah, after streams, so the code is in one single line. Okay, so next our methods min max. So as name suggested, min max return the minimum and maximum element in the stream respectively based on the comparator. So this is also min and max also expects a comparator, how we need to compare the elements, and then once it is compared, we can get a min element or max element. So min and max returns a optional. Okay, optional we have already seen when we call find first or find any, also we return optional. So in that optional interface, from the optional interface we get the actual element by using dot get or dot or else or else throw. So since sometimes we may not have min and max elements due to some filtering. So that's what the min max methods returns optional. From the optional interface we can get the actual element by using dot get. So when we use dot get, we are if we are sure we have a element, then we can put get method to get the actual element. So if you are not sure whether we have a whether we may get null, so that means we can use or else method. So or else, in the or else we can provide what can we get. So that or else means, okay, we don't have a min element in the stream. So then from optional what we are going to get, that or else by specifying parameter to or else we can get the or else. Usually we put null, so that means we get a null object, or else null, otherwise or else a new element. Yeah, so we can even throw exception when we don't get any element. So that means or else throw, we use or else throw to throw an exception. Here I'm just throwing no such element exception by using or else. Yeah, if you see the example of the min, so our products, okay, this product laptop, computer, mobile, and calling min method on the stream. So on the min method we am passing a comparator object by you. Okay, maybe I put it as elements. I put E1, E2, but specifically they are products like we can put P1, P2. Okay, so yeah, what is my comparator? My comparator is based on ID. Okay, so P1 dot get ID minus P2 dot get ID. That means I'm implementing the compare to in the comparator. Compare in the comparator interface. Yeah, P1 dot get ID minus P2 dot get ID. So that means so when yeah we you already know how this comparison will happen by using comparator interface. So that's what we are giving, but we are giving in a new way by using lambda expression. So this is our function which so if P1 is greater than or P2, it will result positive number. If both are same, return 0. If P1 is greater than P2, it will result P2 is greater than P1, it will result negative number. So that is our comparison. So yeah, so this min what will okay, we are more interested in by seeing this min method. So this min method will do what will it does what will it do is so it does compare of these three products of IDs of these products 2 1 3 and then give the minimum element. So that is nothing but 1. So here it will give the first, so that the first product, it will give the first product which has the minimum ID. So that is 1. So it is the second element in the list in our product stream. Yeah. So or else if you don't find any minimum, or else we are throwing a exception. You can throw any other exception. I'm showing no such element exception. If you see here, I'm again using method reference operator. So that is nothing but here I am creating a constructor for no such element exception by using this new. Yeah, so this will print the first product dot get ID. So that is nothing but 1. Likewise, max product. Yeah, here I am just having a different example for the max. So we can also provide, yeah, there is a comparator class or interface is available. In that there is a method, default method comparing. Okay, so if you see, so comparing is accepts a comparator and then compares the sorted key. Okay, so that is nothing but, so what does this line means? This will compare the elements based on the provided functionality. So what is our provided functionality? Our provided functionality is price. So that is from the product class. So in the product class, use the get price method. So that means that is nothing but get price method will give price of the products. So 20,000, 20,000, 30,000. So and get the price and use that price to compare the elements. Okay. So this line says, so it returns comparator. The comparator that comparing method returns the comparator object. Okay. So what is the comparison? So the method which we specified to the comparing method. So here we are specified price. Okay. So take the price from the each product and use that price for the comparing and then get the max from the strip. So that's what this suggests. Or else get the max or else throw no such elements. So this or else throw itself get or else throw. This implicitly having get or else throw. Otherwise, if you are sure, we can directly use dot get. Okay, like this. We can directly use dot get. Okay, so yeah, like this. Otherwise, so this or else throw is nothing but get or else throw. Okay, here our max price product is, yeah, our max price is 30,000. So that max price product is the third element in the product, and the name of that product is mobile. So we'll see the result as mobile. Okay, and so compared to, so coming to next method is distinct. Okay, so distinct is, I mean, as by the name, it returns the distinct elements in the string. So that means it will eliminate the duplicates, and while eliminating the duplicate, it uses the equals method. Okay, so for example, if you try to eliminate these products, yeah, you have to override this equals method in the product entity, and then based on that equals method, so these products will be eliminated. I mean, this duplicate products will be eliminated, and then give the distinct elements. Yeah, I'm going by simple example here. I'm having integer list 253243. That means, yeah, 2 is duplicated and 3 is duplicated. Yeah, so if I operate this distinct operation on the stream, if I apply this distinct method on the stream, I am trying, by this time my duplicate, I mean the duplicate elements will be deleted, eliminated from the stream, and then I may get, I will get 2, 5, 3 and 4. So this 2 and 3, those are duplicated, those will be eliminated by this time. So my stream contains 2, 5, 3, 4, and I'm collecting that stream to list by using dot collect collector to list. I'm trying to print collector list. This distinct list may have 2, 5, 3, 4. Yeah. Coming to next methods, all match, any match, none match. Okay, so these are all operations take some predicate. So that means a condition and return boolean. Okay, so these methods will take a predicate, condition, and then returns boolean. That means whether it is true or false, and process will be stopped as soon as that predicate is determined. Okay, so that is also we can say as a lazy evaluation kind of thing. It won't process all other records when the predicates matches, and then give them necessary results. That means whether true or false. Yeah, so here having a integer list 2, 4, 5, 6, 8. Okay, so my list is 2, 4, 6, 8. Yeah, all match. So what is all match? So what all match does is, all match checks if the predicates, okay, we can, as I mentioned, will provide a predicates. If the predicates satisfies for each element in the stream, then it returns true. Okay, otherwise it returns false. So it returns false as soon as encounters a non-matching thing. So for example here, 2, 4, 5, 6, 8. Okay, I'm passing predicate as I percentile 2 equals 0. That is nothing but I'm trying to find, it's kind of even, to check whether it is even or not. So what I'm trying to see here is whether all elements are even or not. Okay, so as I mentioned, if this predicate satisfies the all elements in the stream, then it returns true. If the, as we are processing, if the predicates doesn't satisfy any one of the elements, it returns false. Okay, here it start process from 2. Okay, it matches. Okay, it is even number, and then go to 4, it is even number. As soon as it encounters 5, it will return false, and 6, 8 will not be processed. It is kind of a lazy evaluation. So that means all even will be false now, because all numbers in the my integer stream or integer list are not the even numbers. Yeah, if you see the syntax, integer list dot stream. Okay, we got the stream, and dot all match. So okay, this all match expects a predicate and then return a boolean. So based on the predicates. Here all it is not all even returns false. Like any match also checks if the predicate is true for any one element in the string. Okay, so any one element in the string, and as per the lazy evaluation, if it founds a it satisfies an element, then it return true. So that's it, it won't process the other elements. So here if we go our example integer list dot stream dot any match, and we are passing a predicates that is to determine the even number. So it start processing from the first element in the stream. So it processes the first element and encounters 2 is a even, that means it satisfies the predicate, so it will return the true and don't process 4 5 6 8. So simply returns true as soon as it encounters 2. Okay, as that is nothing but a first element. It is also kind of a lazy evaluation. Okay, we'll see again any match checks if the predicate is true for any one of the element in the string. So if it encounters any one of the match, it returns true and stop processing for the further elements. So none match. So none match checks. So none match also expects a predicate and will pass a predicate. And if there are no elements matches that predicate, it returns true. Otherwise, it returns false. It simply returns false as soon as it encounters there will be none match, and it won't process the further elements. Okay, so here my predicate is I percentile 3. That means is whether it is divisible by 3 or not. So our list is 2 4 5 6 8. Okay, yeah. So none match. So none multiple of 3. Okay, so that means if something is multiple by 3, it returns false. Okay, 2 is not multiple by 3. Okay, it process from the beginning from the element. Okay, 2 not multiple by 3. Okay, then go to next element. 4 not multiple by 3, then go to next element. 5 not multiple by 3. 6 not is multiple by 3, so then return is false. If you have no 6 here, then it will return true. Okay, so it simply returns false as soon as it encounters 6 because which is divisible by 3. So none match returns true when each element doesn't match the predicate condition. So if there are no elements matches the predicate condition, then it will return true. Otherwise, it will return false. So while returning false, also it just whenever it encounters the none match, whenever it encounters the match, as then it returns the false. Yeah, we can just simply see the output of all the sorted min, max, and then all match, any match, none match. Yeah. So yeah, as I mentioned, our list we just jumble and then see the sorted. Okay. We are sorting our product list by using name. So the first name will be computer as it starts from C. So then first product after sorted is computer. And then max price product, sorry, min. Then next we use the min. Yeah, min. So as it is by going by ID, first product ID will be 1. Okay. And then max price product is mobile. So because it has 30,000, 30K. Okay. By using get price comparing. And distinct, okay, as we have 253 243, but after distinct it is 2534. And all match, any match, none match. Okay, so I, yeah, all even false, because 5 is not a even here. So as soon as encounters 5, it returns false. So one even, so that means any match, if any of the element is matched the predicate condition, it returns true. So here 2 is even, as soon as we encounter true, we return true. So none multiple of 3. So this none match returns if the predicate condition doesn't match for all elements in the stream. But here it matches for 6, because 6 is divisible by 3, so it returns false. So as soon as we encountered 6, it returns false. Yeah. So that's it from the part 2 video. Yeah, we'll explore more on streams in upcoming videos. So if you like this video, please like and share with your friends. Thank you.